This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease is the place to turn when you want top-quality legal marijuana products delivered to you in the Golden State that meet all applicable state laws. If being in compliance and all the quality control benefits that comes with that is important to you, then you don't want to give your delivery dollars to any company but the best. In California, that choice is easy. You just fire up ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. And don't forget, ease.com/blog is where you go to find Ease's valuable catalog of all the industry insight and analysis they've run on their properly aggregated and anonymized sales data stream. That's ease.com and ease.com/blog. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Thursday, April 5th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 462 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is a piece by my buddy Chris Crane, published over at Forbes, looking at the Canadian marijuana industry and the hype and speculation that's been swirling around it and helping to drive up the price of cannabis companies trading on public Canadian markets. A quick bit of disclosure on this one, as Chris is a regular and one of the co-hosts of our weekly show, Marijuana Today. In Chris's piece, he nicely pulls apart some of the numbers behind the Canadian market, which is currently dominated by a number of public companies like Cannabis Growth Corporation and Tilray that have been enjoying valuations at revenue multiples far above any other industry. I have myself reported breathlessly on developments up in Canada, which Chris reminds us all has a smaller population than the state of California. Even still, Canadian firms are making big jumps to lock up overseas business and even landing deals here in the US. And the nationwide adult use legalization set to roll out across Canada later this year means domestic Canadian cannabis companies will further enjoy the benefits of federal legitimacy. An excellent story to click over to read. Another regular on our weekly show, Marijuana Today, Mr. Tom Angel, has our second headline with a piece on his site, Marijuana Moments, about a meeting held yesterday by U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions and 3 prohibitionist Canadian federal senators, because willful ignorance knows no international boundaries. The 3 conservative prohibitionist senators are not happy that their nation is on the verge of implementing border-to-border adult use legalization. Rounding out their too little, too late tour of Washington, D.C., the 3 Canadian senators also met with the prohibitionist group Smarter Approaches to Marijuana, an organization that's funded by the drug treatment industry and that likes to cherry-pick stats and lie to further their declining cause. Our final top story today is a big number. $75 billion, which is how much money one financial firm is projecting to flow through U.S. legal cannabis by 2030, which is just 12 years away. The context financial firm Cohen & Company laid out for that number is a comparison with the size of the North American market for soda, which is just over $76 billion. Another good, perhaps more relevant comparison is the $60 billion in business done in the United States by wine merchants. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. One of the benefits of doing business with Ease is the quality control that's infused throughout their business. They run a tight ship at Ease and extend that same strict operational prowess to their partner dispensaries, who Ease helps with their knowledgeable and helpful team, acting almost like compliance consultants. Ease knows that in the long run, they're going to do better as a business by focusing on making sure that every little detail is done right now. That's important in these early days of the industry. Take advantage of Ease's laser-sharp focus on quality and compliance by opening up ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, to see if your neck of California is allowing for legal marijuana delivery. That's ease.com, and of course, ease.com/blog for all of their valuable industry insight and analysis. Thanks to everyone over at Ease for the support. All right, time for the Blitz. Yesterday, the Maryland State Senate voted to approve a proposed bill expanding the state's ranks of medical marijuana business license holders. We've been reporting on this one throughout its development, and the Washington Post is reporting that the measure will need to be reapproved by the state house after a number of changes were made. But it looks like it should survive that trip before heading to the desk of Governor Larry Hogan for final review. If the bill becomes law, new licenses for medical marijuana cultivators and processors would be given out in a way that helps ensure more racial diversity among the state's industry. Colorado state lawmakers rejected a measure yesterday that would have allowed for businesses throughout the state to offer space to customers for the consumption of cannabis. Currently, Denver is rolling out a molasses slow pilot program allowing for limited social use, but outside city limits, there's no other fully legal option for people to consume cannabis outside the confines of a private home. And it looks like it's going to stay that way for at least the foreseeable future. Another state, another piece of cannabis legislation. This time it's Iowa passing a bill setting up an industrial hemp program. Iowa, which boasts a lot of farms within its borders, some of which grew industrial hemp back in the 1940s, will soon allow select farmers to grow and sell industrial hemp, assuming Governor Kim Reynolds allows Senate File 2398 to become law. Swing over to the Des Moines Register for more details and for a link to the bill itself. The Canadian province of Nova Scotia just laid out rules for how it intends its legal cannabis industry will work as adult use legalization becomes the law of the Canadian land sometime later this year. The federal government is leaving a lot of the details for how that will be implemented to its individual provinces. On Tuesday, a bill was introduced into the Nova Scotia legislation setting up details for how adult use sales would be handled. If passed, Nova Scotians will get their legal marijuana from shops owned and operated by the Nova Scotia Liquor Company, a government-owned entity that currently handles the sale of alcohol in the province. Global News is reporting that Canadian medical marijuana company Tilray is building a $10 million Canadian marijuana production plant in London, Ontario that will convert 56,000 square feet into a processing facility for cannabis edibles, oils, and concentrates. The New Mexican Health Department just released its number of registered medical marijuana patients, which stands at a healthy mark of 50,954, up 46% from where it was this time last year. The Associated Press is reporting that around half of those patients list PTSD as their qualifying condition. And finally for today, Manhattan is getting a third medical marijuana dispensary as California-based MedMen announced plans to open up a shop at 433 Fifth Avenue on April 20th. MedMen is one of the bigger companies in legal marijuana and has been getting a lot of press in recent months for their boldly expansive plans, including a foray into the Canadian market with a partnership with cultivator the Kronos Group. This is another good company to have on your industry radar. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the lesser ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says, Become a Patron. Become a patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with Marijuana Today.
One take, Shay. One take.